Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to the Lord of the Rings, the adventure card game. So, I went online and looked up a walkthrough guide that told me a different deck to build, and that seems to have helped quite a bit as far as just having a much more well-rounded deck. And it was a deck of several that were suggested, all of which didn't require actually unlocking any cards at all, which maybe highlights a factor that the unlockable cards aren't even really that necessary in this game. Notably, I have probably already won Close the Door Before You're Overwhelmed is my requirement here. Wait a minute. Well, there might be a whole another section that I just haven't done yet. Oops. Because I've been playing this whole turn. Alright, let's go back. Let's go to the main menu and try this again and hit to continue. Let's start with this. Messing up here is not going to really change too much. I don't know what the actual name of the deck is. So I just called it New Deck. Again, I think it was called Hobbit's Tribunal or something like that. But it's obviously a blue, green, and purple deck with a selection of cards through them. And I guess I could just say pause now to look at them. The only unique card here is the Bilbo's Cloak that you unlock by doing the tutorial, and Gandalf I think is unlocked by default just as soon as you start playing the game. So, yeah. Now, the good news, of course, here is that, yeah, I probably am going to win. Now, I did also learn in the tutorial that slipping through the window actually takes you to a more difficult fight, so the walkthrough just said to skip that. So, yeah, I thought it was one section finished ahead, but that's fine. So you can see I've lost one hero, but I have a decent setup at the moment. This character in particular is in a really good position to be in defense mode. He gains fate points, not that there's too much I could really do as far as using the fate points. He has block, and he has a readying of unexpected courage, so you can use him multiple times. I guess the real question here would be if there was something else that we could do. It's somewhat beneficial to remove Sauron's ability and resources fairly early, so we'll play that. Steal a resource from him. And then maybe just put this guy in defense mode again and go ahead and let him die. Okay. So then this is all about just closing the door as fast as possible. These other resources are not worth chasing after. And we can't really do anything else, so just... This character has stealth every turn, so he has some real safety. So nobody's really hurt, so doing this to reduce your threat level and do 1 damage to every character is not really worth it, because until this door is shut, it's going to refill enemies at you anyways. Doing this to heal is not worth it. We can increase our threat and draw 3 cards, but not really a good move there. Then you have this big Yurig that we don't want to deal with as far as a location specific threat, and then Place Great Evil also is a concern later.
This way.
But see how that just jumped up significantly, and I didn't have to do anything to get the fate meter up there. That's all just based on that's just all based on this character's ability. You further have this lovely ability to heal more every time a character is killed. Let's see.
Go back to the abyss.
By using this character. The door is shut. So now it's defeat 4 orc units.
My adventure ends here.
Okay. Each player draws 2 cards, gets 1 resources, and restores 1 to every hero. Or -2 threat, deal 1 damage to every character. I imagine we can kind of do both. If we wanted to. We could also potentially end the turn and get more resources to play this character. And this would restore health, so we want to use that later. And getting another hobbit. Would also be useful. Now, noticeably, I don't think there's too much you can do otherwise.
I will go alone.
But you could try to resolve these hazards.
Let's do this.
And yeah, the higher level fate thing I used in the previous round, and that was where the walkthrough suggested to use it. And yeah, that does make sense. Unfortunately, what's not really happening here very well is there's just kind of nothing that's turning into anything particularly interesting or new. So I do just have a ever diminishing lack of interest. Self-preservation on this card is probably crazy to do. And I guess what we're looking for is to kill this orc, because this guy's a block. It's going to create a problem.
The Shire!
See, so this one restores health every time somebody dies. So now's the time to travel.
You move with utmost stealth through a jumble of halls and chambers, stopping in the shadows here and
So
there
instead
to
of
let the occasional
fighting
guard pass by.
the mouth,
A sense of doom
you
is
fight
ever
this
present in these
ghost.
darkened halls, as if the very walls are pressing down to crush your will.
And it's taking quite a while to load here.
Strange muffled sounds echo in the distance.
Now
feel
this is
drawn
where I
toward
thought
them,
I was already,
toward
is
the
that you
center
had
of
to
the
survive
tower.
4 turns.
You blunder into a large chamber
And I
so
could
dark
see it
that you cannot see past your small
really
party.
Still
This
being
room bears the
quite a
unmistakable
struggle
mark of
to
evil. You
even
shiver from
just
head to
survive
toe,
4 levels,
overcome by
4
a sudden
turns.
chill. Then a flash alights the chamber with painful brilliance. You find
It's gonna
yourself
make
in
me
a grand gallery,
listen to all
at
of
the
this.
end of which stands an imposing figure in dark,
Cannot
tattered
skip a
robes.
single part of it.
You tremble in terror.
I guess
before the
perhaps it's been
He is
programmed
not alone.
to make you listen to all of
Scores
this.
creatures, including what
Even
appear
if
to be
you've
some
heard
sort
it
of spirits
before,
or shades themselves,
if the game
howl in
hasn't
triumph
saved and
as the trap is sprung.
marked that you've heard this before. Either that, or we have a problem here in that this final section is glitched out. Okay, well, the real hope here would definitely be that it saved your progress through the previous section, and that I wouldn't have to play the previous section again if I exit out of the game. The best case situation there. But I am going to have to exit out of the game, so we'll do that. Let it stop. Launch it again. And then just cross our fingers. If anything, this would just be a really good excuse to quit in totality. Is just have a false rage quit, basically, around bugginess around the game. 60%.
The postern leads up a black,
It didn't
wide,
save.
winding passage.
So we're back to this again. It's interesting that there's multiple lines of dialogue happening here.
Telling where you might be swept off to.
Right. Guess. Should I attack or something? Get rid of this guy? No, I think he's still in defense mode. But I kind of do think I want people to be alive, if at all possible. And see, I could play this now, and that would restore 4 to every hobbit. But now is not really the time to do that. There's really no reason to attack anything. And I don't think there's really reason to draw 3 cards. Deal 1 damage to every character, killing a bunch of characters.
Where are we next?
Okay, I'm still trying to survive.
We should have good many yet.
Achieve, restore 1 health to a Hobbit hero. And see, the weirdness here is, I do think I can win. I question though, if I might do better just resetting all over again, though. Okay. See, and I think that just gets us where we need to go, so it makes a lot of sense to just travel. And let's just hope this works. See, it said it was saving there.
A jumble of halls and chambers, stopping in the shadows here and there to let the occasional guard
So,
pass by.
if it said it was saving there, why did it not save before?
As if the very walls are pressing down to crush your will. Strange muffled sounds.
And see, the weirdness is, I know I've played this section before. I've gotten this far. So, if all of a sudden the game, which really hasn't shown any bugs, all of a sudden has this corruption to it, I would have to like verify the files on Steam would be the next step, and then potentially try to reinstall the whole thing. But yeah, it really should not be taking this long to load. It should have the continue button showing up a long time ago. Shouldn't be. This game shouldn't have loading at all. But we played a whole different scenario, so the files are completely different, and it just does not make sense that this is how it's going. And I guess I could hit a few keys on the keyboard and just to see if that would do something. And this is really, really ridiculous. Again, I'm gonna have to stop it. And let's see. Go ahead and verify the files on Steam Deck. Installed files. Verify integrity of game files. Meanwhile, I'll close some things in the background just to see if something's there. All files were verified. Well, that definitely puts you in this impossible situation here. Because what you could do is the next step, if you were just incredibly determined to beat this, is you would have to reset the progress and start all the way at the beginning. And nothing can happen as far as doing this quest until that happens. And it's like, maybe you could go back and play like a tutorial run, and then maybe that would shake whatever cobwebs are loose in the brain of this software. But it's not something I want to do on screen. So then that brings us to either doing the Witch King's Grasp, or rage quitting, or looking at encounters. So let's look at an encounter and give that a try. So we'll take this new deck, investigate the foul theft threat, hit start.
The lands between the misty mountains and the Anduin have become treacherous, and trade between Ravania and Eriador has diminished significantly. Frequent storms and rock slides make journeying through the passes dangerous. Foul creatures descend from their high lairs to roam the eastern foothills. It is even said that all manner of unsavory beings take advantage of the hard snows and landslides to pass across the mountains from the Etten Moors. By Commander King Day, an expedition of dwarven warriors travelled west from Erev through the lands of the Bjornings. Their goal? Reopen the high pass so that communication and trade can resume with their kin in the Blue Mountains. That was months ago. No dwarves returned from that expedition, and travellers of any from the west grow ever scarcer.
So yeah, not really knowing Lord of the Rings, this story feels like it could have been set in the past, pre-Hobbit times, or this could be at any other point.
In several dangerous matters of late, they turn to you again for aid. So it is that during a cool week in early fall, you join a patrol to scour the wooded hills near the eastern entrance to the pass. Yarw, the patrol leader, hopes to clear out any goblins or wolves that may have grown too comfortable in the area. He also hopes to find some clue as to the whereabouts of the lost dwarves. You've been on patrol only a few days when you encounter a band of goblins. They don't seem to be in the mood to discuss whether they've seen any dwarves.
So here we have some goblins drawn more like I would expect a goblin to be drawn.
It would be the death of you to come with me. Second breakfast.
I'm coming with you.
See, now notice there, when that loaded in, that played each audio separately. Whereas in the other game, it was loading the audio on top of itself. Which, that's the only indication we've seen of bugginess. So we've got a lot here. Deal with the goblins to continue your search for the lost dwarves. Yeah. Almost certainly we're going to fail this. But there does seem to be slightly more things here to interact with. So we probably should take advantage of the location-specific items. Okay. If we've got a ranged guy, we kill that guy. That makes a lot of sense. Bypass or defeat the goblins. Attack directly or apply 2 progress per player for each enemy defeated. Okay.
We'll not be taking horrors.
The hope here is to reduce Sauron's ability more. Okay, can we do anything here? We've got, it looks like probably enough to kill one character. We go into this. And then this. I don't know if it's particularly wise to give this one unexpected courage. I think playing this probably will highlight that there is some decent strategy around this deck that was built. So it isn't just nonsense, but I don't know if that's good enough. But yeah, you can definitely see how you, with this deck, you just get a ton of this fate points. I was getting none of that before. Steal 1 resource from Sauron. Okay. Do we have enough to really win here? Well, if I attack this and kill this, that's 2 progress. But noticeably, I have just lost another character. Yeah, weirdly, I think I will get through this one section, but I imagine this is just a small beginning. Let's see. Summon 1 random Hobbit ally. Okay. We'll do that. Go ahead and heal. My efforts are getting stymied quite a bit. Complete the goal. Travel to avoid the looming threat. Yep, I think it makes sense to travel. And see if that was all this was just that. That'd be fine. No, it wouldn't be fine. It would be too short for a game that really has too little single-player content.
You detect a new odor in the darkening air. The fragrant hint of a cooking fire. Yet despite the allure of a warm meal, the Bjornings refuse to invest before daylight.
This country has become evil. We can no longer assume unseen strangers to be friends.
Yet, you argue. The campfire may belong to the missing dwarves. Isn't it best to check before they move on? Yarwolf agrees reluctantly.
Whoever burns that fire must feel secure in these hills. This means either a foe or a fool.
You set off to find out. Cresting a steep ridge, you spy a glint of distant fire through wind-wavering branches. Then thick clouds roll in, turning the night dark as pitch. You advance through black pillars of trees, the carpet of needles, a delicate whisper from feet to feet. Then all goes wrong.
So yeah. All of a sudden we've got a animated character here on the side, which makes this field look way better designed than any of the others. Defeat every other trailer. Defeat every troll or hang on until foraging time ends, which is 4 turns. But we have obviously a lot of location specific things. Discard 0 to 1 cost cards from each player's hands. Don't have any of that. But notice you've got like 16 health characters here with 1 attack, which I guess if I have something with block, that wouldn't be too big of a deal. We also have things with like 1 health, which you probably should try and kill those also. Would probably make the best sense to do that first. Give this guy guard. And we've got to discard something. So there goes Gandalf. Everything here is just in shadow, and I think that is intentional. Stuffed apparently also just got activated. What's funny is these are not the same as this. So we kind of have like 2 different things that are causing things to happen. Alright, let's just kill that. Kill that. Kill that. Extra threat level for whatever this does. The text is still way too small for me to read. Okay, well that did 3 damage to a lot of characters. Not the worst idea. Deal 1 damage to every unit that attacks this turn. Okay. So what if we were to instead do this? And there goes Bilbo's cloak. And then do this.
Where are we going next?
Okay. And then basically I'm just wasting time here. It doesn't really seem like you could ever actually beat these characters. Maybe you could, but I don't really see a great reason why too many people would even try. It would have to give you a massive amount of fellowship points. And that would be interesting, I guess, if cards had like a little $sign above their head, and that told the player that more fellowship points were available to be purchased. I think we may have lost our character that we needed.
I will go alone.
So it might benefit me to just spin the power and summon Tauren. He now seems to have 2 things he could activate. He's potentially not choosing to activate them both. I guess I should have played that card instead, even though it really would have only healed a couple of characters. Yeah, I don't want to activate that one. Not really killing anything to use this healing ability. Could have put this guy in defense mode. That would have been smart. And this really doesn't feel like it's just going to be 2 areas. It feels like, just like all the other quests, this would be much closer to 4 areas. So here comes that major character. And guess we can play this. And I did not realize how close we were going to end up being to 50. So, unless this actually is the last area. Yeah, unless this is the actual last area, then I don't see a way I would possibly ever beat this. I could see doing it. It doesn't seem crazy difficult. It just seems like it would be fairly random. Yeah, I could potentially see doing this 3, 4, 5 times to try and succeed. So you end the phase and then turn should end. Off to dinner. Complete the goal from this location. Travel. So you have like 5 turns now in this next section.
Interest in you. The last of the strange abominations lumbers back towards the distant firelight. You recall Yarwolf's warning and thank the kind fortune that allowed you to survive the bizarre skirmish on this dark hillside. Shaking off exhaustion, you realize that some in your company are missing. Concerned, your thoughts flash back on the recent encounter. The canvas sacks, the blazing fire, the smell of cooking. A sudden dread envelops you. The abominations must be trolls, and they've taken your friends. You cannot abandon them to a fate of boiling roasted spits and gnawed bones. Taking a deep breath, you summon what courage you can and advance with caution towards the nearby clearing. Firelight depicts the silent barrels surround a small clearing. Hunched over the fire are 3 ornery trolls who complain about
disease.
The large chews on an old strip of meat. Origin is thankfully unguessable. The clearing shadowy boundaries with skulls and bones of varying shapes and sizes. Rusted metal dimly, plentiful nicks of helms and shields. Dwarves and shields. Not far from the canvas sacks, stacked crudely like logs. The upper sacks content riddled with futile struggle. The lower ones are ominously still. The fattest pats his belly and appraises the sacks. After a brief moment of debate, it waddles off to peruse the pile. At the same time, another hauls over a large sooty cauldron filled with rainwater and plants it amid the fire in a shower of sparks. The trolls prepare to cook. You prepare to fight.
So yeah, we have 45 threats, and it seems like they've squeezed some location-specific things to happen right at this lower section in the next couple turns. Definitely does not feel like you could win this with this setup. You'd have to have played a lot better in the 2 previous sections, and nothing is really highlighting that this is even the last section. There's very possibly a whole nother challenge after this. I'm supposed to defeat every troll or delay through the night in hopes the dawn will bring relief. So, delay through the night. Is, I assume, this 8 here. If not, you could do the best cook, which would resolve the current objective or 7. And it just doesn't seem like you actually would pull off any of that. Okay. So it's going around the field. And then it immediately gets killed. I mean, there's just nothing you can do.
This is the first time even a mouse has crept along to my very nose and not been spotted.
And then we're losing cards I really would like to not lose. Yeah, and I can try, certainly, but...
Come on, again.
We lost our character that would have filled this up. I guess if you started this whole level with 12, perhaps that would have worked for you. And I just finished another achievement called Collector, which I appreciate, making little bits of progress. But you definitely have to be realistic and realize that any little progress you might be getting towards achievements is nothing.
Full attention. Bringing your journey.
I have now 15 of 73 achievements done. So that was a Feast for Trolls. Let's see if there's a percentage here. No, not really. So there's no telling, but I assume that there's at least one more section after what we were doing. And as far as the walkthrough, these encounters say they are hard, and I agreed with them. So here's what I'm gonna do. Would be fairly stupid to play this one more time, but let's do it anyway.
Must be someone intelligent in the party.
See, again, you have the audio playing on over itself.
Longer ones.
Okay. If I succeed here, I'm almost certainly going to end up just doing the same thing over again and having the same crash. So maybe it would make sense to go out and then load back in and see if anything changes there.
I must carry the to the end. Must be someone intelligent.
Now you're still getting that audio. Now, the possibility is certainly there that the audio overlapping has nothing to do with it glitching. to the next level. There's not really anything else you can do, though. So what I'll do is off screen I'll give it one more try to see if I can get through it, and then probably have to reset progress and then see if I can get through to the final chapter. If that doesn't happen, in the next episode we'll look at burglary in Bree quest, and if in the next episode we look at that and we can't get past that, then we'll just try these other two encounters. I am trying my very best here to have a full attempt, but left to my own choices, I would have just rage quit at this point. We've run into bugginess on top of a game that is just not really my style, and it hasn't become more interesting as we've gone along. It's just become more difficult. We haven't gotten more cards. We haven't been rewarded properly for when we do succeed, in the fact that we have not really gotten any fellowship points. In fact, in this entire episode, if not the last episode also, we haven't earned any fellowship points at all. So I've gone nearly 2 hours now without earning anything at all, which would have even potentially helped me in this struggle difficulty spike section. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, there's some support links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.